What's up, everybody? Welcome back to the Difference Podcast. Today, I had an honor and the blessing of having my son, number one, my son Ezra, my 14-year-old here, just chopping it up. I call it freestyling with the Fraziers. And we dove into everything. We dove into what it's like being, 14-year-old kid going into high school, the importance of building the right network. We talked about investing. We talked about leadership. We talked about influences. I think you're really going to enjoy this episode as you see kind of behind the scenes of what it is that we do, how we vibe, the subjects that we talk about, how deep of a thinker that my son Ezra is. Come on in, enjoy the episode, and let us know what you think.
You say you do that and you just drop it off a cliff without giving context.
There's no context to be given.
I was like, what's the
You had like 4 wine glasses and went down the list of children that you have and said, "You're not good at it." He said, "You're not good at it, but if you were to set your mind to it, you could be good."
Okay. Context.
But he didn't say we do set our mind to it. He said if you were to set your mind to it.
And I also said the things that you guys have set your mind to, you become really good.
Well, my kids aren't going to know all that. Probably, I wasn't even there, but when you fell asleep on Grandma Leva's toilet.
Oh. Yeah, that was a rough night. That was rough. My God.
You might not even remember this, but when we went to Sanaya's game and we had to run all around LA because your car got towed because you were too stubborn to park where you're supposed to.
Mm-hmm.
That was funny.
That does sound like me.
Or
how we got stuck when we were in Savannah in that parking garage because I went on the right-hand side. Mommy said, go on the left-hand side, but the line was too long. And I went on the right-hand side.
She was so mad.
No, we couldn't.
You do that so much. We ended up on the wrong side of the Grand Canyon, which stretches for like 2.5 states, by the way.
Gosh.
And we had a helicopter ride booked. We had this really nice hotel at the Grand Canyon booked. We had tours booked. All gone. But we did lie on an abandoned road at the Grand Canyon. And I skateboarded there.
Down.
Yep.
See? Silver linings. We drove for so long.
Bro.
So long.
I was asleep for 8 hours and we were already in Sedona, Arizona. So it should have only been 2.5 hour drive, right?
Yeah, if that.
We were driving for 8 hours and at no point did he stop to think, maybe I'm going the wrong way.
Yep. I did once we were kind of there already.
I remember waking up at like the 5 hour mark because I was asleep for most of this. I remember waking up at the 5 hour mark and we were on a completely dirt road and I look out the window, there was just shacks everywhere. With like meth heads just walking around.
Yep. It was like that. And we were going through a lot of different reservations at the time.
Let me think about something for Mom.
I always thought about, there was I think it was maybe last summer or something. And we, what did we go up to LA for? I think it was you, me, Cruz, and Mila. And we had the best time, Tony. It was the best time. We stayed at this great hotel. And then we were leaving. Oh, we were going to go down to Long Beach to Claire's at the museum. What were we up there for? Oh, is that one? No, that's not when we went to. Did we go to the SC game? We did something. It was great. It was like so nice. It was so peaceful.
No, we went to the USC game and then you were too tired to go back, so we spent the night.
Okay. Where did we stay? We stayed in Alhambra. So, we get in the car.
I was a little mad that day because you did because the night before I asked Can we like incorporate Sanaya and Nelly in our plans?
Oh yeah.
So I was a little grumpy that entire day.
Oh my goodness.
But I got that chicken sandwich and it was all good.
It was good after that. So it was like, okay. So it was such a peaceful time.
Mm-hmm.
And I thought it was a peaceful morning. And Ezra did ask to like go meet up with his cousin, and I text my sister-in-law, and basically they were like doing some stuff and they weren't going to be able to get together until after the time I wanted to. And so anyhow, so we get on the road. It's a peaceful morning. And then I think Cruz was doing something.
I forgot about this part.
And I asked him
And he elbowed me.
to basically stop or something. I don't know. I think I got some
remember all
food.
of it.
What happened?
I remember all of it.
Or I said like don't.
We had just gotten food.
Okay.
We were at Claire's. We walked around the beach a little bit.
No, this was before we went to Claire's.
No, it wasn't. It was after.
Well, hold on. Maybe I'm talking about something else.
No, when he threw the car seat.
Yeah, that was before, because we were still in Alhambra.
No.
We were still in
No, we weren't. We were in Pasadena.
Well, we were around that area.
No, because after that, I remember you're like, all right, it's time to go. And we pretty much just went home after that. We didn't do much after that.
We went to Long Beach after that.
Yeah, we drove around Long Beach and then we went home.
No, so the throwing the car seat happened in the morning, and then and like the Alhambra, Pasadena area. Then we went to Long Beach, and it was basically peaceful after that. But what was Cruz doing? Why did I get mad?
Hold on. While I'm talking, I'll pull up the video.
I don't remember what happened. You got video of me throwing it? Oh, you have to send. We got to post that.
But anyway, so no, because this is the story. This is how I know that we got Claire's beforehand, because we had got Claire's beforehand. And you and Cruz ate a lot. He ate that whole thing of waffles.
No, I got like.
And they
had sunflower seeds or something, and I asked him to stop eating the seeds. And he said, okay.
No, because you didn't want your car to get messy, but you also wanted him to stop eating. And he said, okay.
That may have been later. But the sunflowers, I think it was sunflower seeds. We did go to the SC game because we had leftover, it was the peanuts.
It was the peanuts.
That's what it was.
Anyway.
So it was the peanuts that you break open and they fall all over the place, right? Messy. So I said, Cruz, we're not eating the peanuts. And he acknowledged it, and then I could hear him eating it. I said, Cruz, we're not doing the peanuts. Don't eat them. He said, okay. And then like a couple minutes later, I hear the crunching of the peanuts. And at this point, I feel like I'm really fair. I really do. Mm-hmm. And I feel like I'm just like, let's just be cool. Let's just be peaceful and cool and everything. But when now you're doing too much. So I pulled the car over.
By the way, there's ladies walking up and down the street working out, right? There was a lady who had just passed by when he pulled over the car. Ladies in their middle ages are running down the street. Everyone's having a peaceful day. It's a grassy area. He pulls over the car.
Birds are chirping.
Birds are chirping.
Perfect weather.
Sunny outside. A cool, crisp 73 degrees. He pulls over, reaches back, elbows me in the process. He didn't even notice.
I did it.
He grabs Cruz.
I lifted him out of the car.
He lifts him out of the car. Starts screaming at him, sets him down on the sidewalk, gets the car seat, and chucks it like 25 yards, almost into somebody's yard. He just chucks it into the grassy. I'm trying to find this video.
You recorded it?
No, I got pictures of the car seat on the ground.
Oh my god.
It should have been an Olympic.
No, it was fall.
Yeah.
And the car seat shattered into 2 pieces.
Oh my gosh.
But here's the thing. Like, here's the thing. Once it's over, dude, it's over.
Yeah.
Right? So it's like, okay, that happened. All right, let's get back in the car.
Dad has a tendency too to throw things when he's mad.
Mm-hmm.
So it's just kind of to be expected. Like one time,
Better I throw the car seat than to throw the kid.
I mean,
Right?
one time I remember you and I got home from a vacation and Jackie had been here and she kept on letting Arrow into the house, right? So we get home. It was in the Bonzo house. We get home. We open the door. Arrow tries to budge his way in. Yeah, he tries to muscle his way in, and I pull him back, right? And you, like, without saying a word, just turn to this little stand-up fan in the garage and chuck it across the garage, and it shatters.
I remember that one.
Or one time in the last house.
That's right. Holy moly. That is right.
In the last house.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah. Mila and Cruz were messing around right in front of me. I was just playing video games. Mila was screaming at him to stop. Cruz wasn't stopping. I pushed Cruz off of Mila. He hits his head on a basket. But Dad had been hearing like Mila screaming and told us to stop messing around. He walks upstairs, gets to the baby gate, and chucks it across the media room. He'll throw anything.
What happened to the baby gate? Did it break?
No, but he scratched up the wall because it was like connected to the wall.
Oh, Jesus.
And you just full force broke it off.
Did I say anything?
Yeah. You said everything.
Oh, I did.
And I was on the game, right? So there was like 5 of my friends in the call. And all they hear is you screaming and then crashing, and I turned my Xbox off.
That's awesome.
So then the next day I go to school, and they were like, "Your dad beat you?"
That's funny. Yeah, man, that car seat thing was. You know what it was? It was so necessary. Because sometimes I'll feel bad afterward. Sometimes, not very often, but sometimes. I did not feel bad about that because I was like, bro, how many? Come on, man. I've asked you 3 times as nice as humanly possible, and now we're just deciding to be disrespectful, and that is not gonna happen. Like, that's not going to happen. And then 2, here's what I learned about parenting, team. Is, and this is why it's so important to have fathers in the house. Because kids are just little humans trying to figure it out. But like any animal, we're going to push the boundary as much as nature allows us to push the boundary.
Yeah.
And it's just natural evolution. It's definitely part of our biology. It's just definitely part of learning though too. Like, I'm gonna push it and push it and push it until there's pushback on me.
Let me go over to this camera. See it. Tell me if you can see it. So I'm in the car. It's already zoomed in. That is the car seat in 3 pieces, and that's my dad going to collect it.
I went to go get it. I thought I sent Cruz to get it.
Nope.
I got it? See,
you sat Cruz down on the sidewalk.
That was a mistake. I should have had him go get it.
There it is.
So, let's see. Oh my God. Dude, that's crazy.
I thought that we were going to get the cops called on this because that lady was watching the entire time.
That's wild.
So,
but
but
the chicken sandwich.
Yeah, see, that was.
See, so it was after. It was after.
Yeah, well, that's what I said, bro. I said this happened first, And then after that, I got in the car.
Wait, what? No.
This was at 10:34, and this was at basically noon.
Why is it before him?
I don't know. But this was definitely after. Because that is the one thing that I kind of enjoy about me. Like,
No, my phone's tweaking. What? Because then this beforehand is afternoon.
this was, that was right after we ate. So we ate at 11:56. We cleaned up, and 12 minutes later, we took a picture outside. Yeah, I don't know why it's going. And then we walked all the way down. That's right. So it was fine after that. But so a kid, you did this, Tony. I did this. Ezra does it.
Night before.
Ezra doesn't do it. Ezra still does it. He just doesn't do it as much as some of the other kids, but he still does it. So we all push the boundaries. Every single one of us, right? Ezra pushes the boundaries. I certainly push boundaries. I've been pushing boundaries my whole life. I still push boundaries. And it is part of the reason, it is one of the reasons that will make people a lot more successful than other people. Is you push the boundaries quite a bit.
Yeah.
Mila pushes the boundaries for sure. She's pushing the boundaries now with this phone thing. They've been pushing the boundaries on bedtime for a long time.
What?
Ezra pushes the boundaries. Cruz certainly pushes the boundaries. Jonah everybody pushes the boundaries. And you're going to keep pushing them until something pushes you back into structure. With kids, and especially if they just have mom can be the strongest person in the world, but like my mom was pretty intimidating, but you're still a mom, right? And at some point in time, the kids will continue to push mom's boundaries because I don't know why. My theory is, you have the nurturing side, you have the loving side. I feel like moms are going to be a lot more lenient.
Yeah.
And then at some point in time, I feel like, especially with boys, even boys that are as small as Cruz and Jonah, something inside of them knows that, like, I'm a dude and you're a woman, and I respect the hell out of you, but I know at some point in time, like, I'm physically going to be able to dominate you. I know I felt that for sure. At the age of 10, I knew that like whatever we're doing here, we're not gonna keep doing. You know what I mean? Like I literally knew. And then by the time I was Ezra's age, I definitely knew that, like, whatever we're doing, like, we're gonna have mutual respect around here.
Mm-hmm.
Right? Like that, and it's just gonna be what it is. And so I feel like that's gonna happen when mom. But when dad comes in, you oftentimes have to show a level of force and power that I showed with this car seat. Because if you don't, then this pushing the boundaries will keep happening until somebody gets in trouble.
Yeah.
And what that did was, it was a very clear reminder that, like, there's levels to this thing, right? Like, there's levels. And if dad has to get crazy, then that part is there. Even though I don't want to, I just want to chill, man. Let's do yoga, go to the beach, like, feel the breeze, hang out, have a good time.
Yeah.
But it's important to show, especially kids that are always going to push like this.
Mm-hmm.
And it's clear, man, like, it is night and day, the difference between how my kids respond to me as opposed to how they respond to Amanda.
Yeah.
And it should be the same,
Yeah.
but it's different. Even now, Amanda just came back from being away for about a week. The stuff that was happening yesterday from her first day back with the kids, I'm telling you, Tony, would never, it doesn't even like, it's not a thing when it's just me. Am I right, Ezra?
Yep.
It's not a thing.
Well, it's not as frequent, but it happens.
It happens. It's not as frequent and it's not as explosive.
Yeah, I was about to say, now there's levels. There again, this is where levels are reciprocated. Now there's levels to it.
Yeah, because, like, Jonah and Cruz the entire week, they had their bad days.
Mm-hmm.
Like, Cruz on Father's Day. I feel like that's... I don't know. I feel like that's a normal day with Mom.
I thought he did pretty well on Father's Day until we got to the cafe, and I feel like I know why he got there, and it was working to a point to dismantle why he got there.
I feel like he did well after the cafe.
He did.
I feel like he was horrible up until the cafe.
You didn't think that he did decent on the hike? He complained a little bit, but it wasn't egregious, and we were able to shut it down. I felt like
He was quick to start crying though the entire time. Like I remember like he was like, "Could I have water?" And you said once we get to the top, he just started bawling, and then you just gave it to him.
Mm-hmm.
Like he was like quick to like, yeah.
It's funny, man, because yes, that is true, and I felt like it was. I felt like this might be saying something, but I felt like it was pretty darn good. Like that might be saying something, but I felt like it was pretty manageable, pretty tolerable, and I didn't think that. I thought that. See, when we introduce more people into the picture with Cruz, it's going to get a little bit more hazy. Like I told you, we went basically on a 3-mile hike 2 days in a row, but it was really just, him, me, and then Jonah being in the stroller, so it's not really a threat.
Right.
But we introduce more people into the story, then it gets a little bit hazy, and you just have to get out in front of it with a lot of direction and reminders. Like, we're gonna do this, then we're gonna do this, then Ezra's gonna take over here, then we're gonna do this, then we're gonna do this. And then try to keep up with that sequence without throwing too many curveballs in there. If too many curveballs get thrown into there without giving him prompts, it's gonna be a problem. And then also, if, like when we got to the cafe, the level of fatigue that he had was a problem. And then walking into the cafe, there was like a 15-second moment there where I could tell he felt like he wasn't being heard, and he wasn't able to get out what he wanted to say. And then he definitely wanted to be the leader. And then when we walked into the cafe and he kept walking, I don't know if you remember that. And then I was like, remember that? That set him off. That right there, that triggered him.
When you said, "Where you going?"
Yeah. I shouldn't have said it like that. That one thing, because he clearly wanted to be the leader, and then I shifted it on him, and then I said what didn't seem to be crazy, but for him, that's a trigger, and so I should have prompted him earlier than that. And then once that fuse was lit, now it was like I got to get back into a leadership position, and he wasn't able.
That's when he started messing with Jonah, and then and then I scolded him, and that just set him off again.
Yeah.
Oh.
So,
Why does he work like that?
That's how a lot of people are, though. I was gonna say the fact that you said that show of force, right? I was watching the movie. I think it's called Warfare, the new one that just came out, But there's a part where all these Marines, like they're gunned down, like they're about to get like trampled over against all these, like left and right. Their whole entire compound is surrounded. But they called in to the Air Force, right? And the rules of engagement, like they couldn't drop anything, but they used those words specifically, like, can you show force? And all it took was for the freaking, biggest fighter jet, whatever that the military had at that point, to just drive by and put everybody else back in check.
Yeah.
So if I was going to bring that as a good example, like that's just in life.
Yeah.
Right. And sometimes it means life or death. Right. So imagine if they weren't put back into check and they just kept trying to attack whoever, was trapped in.
Sure.
Oh, dude, I can imagine. Like, because then now that cuts out your rules of engagement. If now you're actually attacking, then we have no choice but then to come in full force.
Yeah, we have to.
It's the same thing. Yep. Same exact thing.
Force with force. So, like, with Cruz in that moment, it was like, okay, I had a talk with him, and the talk was very much specific to, hey, let's control. Even before I asked him, like, let's control this, I let him know that he's a leader, that he's awesome. Like, if you remember what I said, you're a great leader, you're awesome, because I wanted him to feel like he was back in a dominant position where he feels like he thrives. You're a leader, you're awesome, we got this, we can shift, right? Like, you can do this.
Yeah.
And I think that that's one of the things too, in terms of just like handling him, that I might be a little bit better at than mommy is. A lot of times and you'll do this too, Ezra, and Mila did it earlier as well. When Cruz, it's not helpful to attack his energy with like energy. It's like you want to attack his energy with the opposite energy. When he's in those states, but yeah, I feel like after that, I felt like he was pretty much settled in after that.
And you know what? It could just not be the different respect levels. It could just be that you know how to handle them better than mom. Because I feel like I take on a lot of like mom's traits when it comes to dealing with him. And I feel like that's why he responded so poorly. Because instead of like, even after that, I told him, all right, let's go to the table and get like some sort of like, leadership, because I just gave him an order. He had to go and get Jonah and then come to the table. So I should have said something like, can you get Jonah and then come to the table, or something like that.
Man,
and
so
I feel like that's what mom would do. She just like gives orders. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, if you with Cruz, so I'm very aware of this. So when I have him, I keep him very busy, and I give him a lot of things to do where he can feel like he is being useful, and then when I have him as well, he does better when he's outside. He doesn't do as well when he's inside. So I'll have him outside doing stuff. I don't care if it's playing in the dirt, as long as you're not like destroying stuff, go at it. Go do you, go dig, go build, go do stuff. And then I'll also try to separate him from other people as much as possible. So I will have him go outside. I might have Jonah in here, or I might have him upstairs. I might have Jonah down here. Or if they're together, I'll have them doing something active, right? So like I'll keep him busy. Cruz, go put a load of laundry in for me. Cruz, okay, let's have you clean this area. I'm going to clean this area. I constantly have that dude moving, right? Like idle is not so great. So with him, you have to be so preemptive. You have to plan to like you have to. But I also think that's why I work better with him, because I am very much like, we're gonna do this, then we're gonna do this, then we're gonna do this. When you are just so like that, and then you try to shift what he's doing. Nope. Don't do that. You are asking for trouble. When it's just like, oh, we're just like going with the wind or whatever. It's hard. It's hard for him to shift like that. It's hard for me to shift like that, to be honest with you. So with him, I have it scheduled out, and it's easier to say, okay, we're gonna do this. Then in 5 minutes, we're gonna do this. Then 30 minutes after that, you and Ezra are gonna go outside and play. And then after that, we're gonna read books. And now his brain, it's an engineer's brain. Like, that's how they operate. It's very much like, right? It's not like a hippie's brain, but it's very much okay.
And I think that's where me and him are different, because like he like thrives with an itinerary, but that just makes me feel more stressed, because then I have a time constraint. Like on when was it? It was on Monday. You had me. I had already like been asleep until like 10, and you had me or no, I wasn't asleep. I woke up at like 9, took a shower, and then I was like pretty much ready by 10, and then you had me go and like do my basketball and gym workout before 12, so I could come back here and babysit. And like my plan beforehand when I woke up, I was like, all right, I'm gonna just take my time with my shower, and then I'm gonna make my way over to the park, chill for a little bit, do my workout, then make my way over to the gym.
Right.
I was expecting to get back here at like 2.
Yeah, chilling. Chilling, yeah.
I took like a 5-minute shower, which is really fast for me. Like really, really fast. You know what else I'm gonna tell my kids though?
What's that?
When he fell off the skateboard at the Bonzo house.
Why?
And the longtime followers of you might remember about 3 years ago, 3.5 years ago, there was, so in our Bonzo house, which was a pretty big property, there was a big old driveway that came down, right? It was really steep. It was like probably at like this angle, right? And at the top there was the gate, and it would come down and it would make a loop into the garage. And I would always have my skateboard. I would always go at most halfway up, go do the loop, and go back up, just to like practice skateboarding, right? He got my skateboard, went all the way to the top, said record this, handed me his phone, no helmet, no nothing. He went all the way to the top and sent it down.
Somebody must have loosened up the wheels on that damn skateboard before I got on there.
Nobody.
Full sent the hill?
And he was doing good, actually, until
I got nervous.
After the bottom of the hill. And like 5 feet off of the driveway, it got wobbly, and right in front of me just started tumbling. And he probably did like 3 or 4 somersaults. Scraped up his arms, his back, and pretty much landed at my feet. And he was just lying there breathing. I was still recording. And he looks at me.
Do you have the video?
No, I didn't have a phone at that
point. My god.
It was on your phone. And he looked up at me and he says, "Don't tell your mother." And then that's when the recording ended. Here, let's see if the camera can get this video of Dad's skateboarding down.
Oh, that. Let me see. You saw it in slow motion.
Is that the one you put in slow motion?
Oh my god. Or maybe
I didn't do anything
It
to
looks
it.
like he's slowing down for sure.
Wait, this isn't the right video.
This
then,
isn't
because
the original.
when I go up, I walk up to him, right?
Mhm.
And he's lying on the ground. Silence for a good 5 seconds. He looks up and he says, "Don't tell your mother." I haven't watched it yet, though.
Who's screaming in the background?
Probably
That's Cruz.
Cruz.
Man, that's not the right video then. Is that one slowed down?
Yeah. Is that him? Is that his dad? Oh my god.
Wait, he asked, "Did you get it?"
Oh yeah, this one is slowed
Listen,
down.
Listen.
Oh my god.
Did you get it? And then my voice.
So Ezra and I are gonna get in great shape. Ezra's already in pretty good shape. I fell off. So I'm gonna get in great shape. We're gonna go watch my buddy James in September compete in his first bodybuilding show. And I'm gonna get in great shape and I'm gonna cut my hair. My wife is not gonna like it. I don't know why she doesn't like it. I think because the back of my head is too fat. I think she doesn't like it.
Yeah,
I don't think that she is like she doesn't like bald heads. I think she doesn't because she associates it with like Chicano culture, Cholo. You know,
Yeah, I
like
like to say she's from Alani.
Yeah,
So that makes sense.
yeah. So I think that she equates that into it. But I think for me specifically, it's because I got a big piece of fat. Right
She was
here.
livid when Cruz got a buzz cut.
Really?
Yeah, she won't let him do it again. He looked good too. I'll show
It
you a
looked really
picture.
good. I thought it looked excellent.
He did.
Cruz has the hair that you can do like a lot of different styles with.
Yeah, and you choose to give him that style that doesn't work.
What style is that?
The one that he has now. The one style that.
Well, we got to go through. Everybody has to go through that period if you're growing your hair out.
Yep.
Like there's a period in there where everybody's thinking, "What is going on?"
I'm
But
going
you-
through it.
But you have to go through the pain to get to the pleasure. But I was telling them about, one of my favorite D's is your road dogs, and I talk about zip codes eat people. And so I was just really going through that. But that's a perfect example of environment and how it's so strong that these dudes are in Japan,
Yeah.
over across a whole flipping ocean,
Mm-hmm.
and the environment still.
Down to the females.
Yes.
I imagine it being similar to that in the Philippines too. Then.
Yeah. Oh, I wouldn't doubt it. No, it's very big everywhere. Like everywhere. And yeah, that's like how you're saying that. I think that's what anything, dude. There's influence that takes place in anything.
Influence, man. But even what you're wearing right now, Tony, that would have been a problem where I grew up.
Yeah.
Raiders.
What the black Raiders had in that black shirt, and if he had on
And
black
Jays?
black Dickies or black.
Oh, those are nice. Where'd you pick those up?
We're not gonna talk about that right now because you're dead. That don't know about them.
They're real, right?
What you mean?
Just making sure.
Bro, come on.
Well, no, because I asked you where'd you pick them up, and you wanted to be all discreet, so I just wanted.
I want to be discreet because I know he noticed them and hasn't brought them up yet. So
Ezra, what do you mean when you say are they real?
There's like
there's some
fake
ones.
materials and stuff. You can get them off of
Oh, they
fake
can
websites.
they can be replicated to where nobody will even know.
I've gotten reps before. Actually, I have a funny story about
Well,
reps.
that's a funny question. Do people ask that? Like,
Yeah.
It's a big.
That's a big thing to sneakers.
So
I
that's,
bet you if you ever ask
Matt?
if you ever ask Matt if his shoes are fake, he might fight you.
Yeah, I mean,
Yeah.
that's
replicas. That's what they call them.
that's the thing that we were talking about. Is just like it's so easy to be disingenuous.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm
following a person, a brand that, and I think that's why I try to be so transparent in what we do. You know, even last night on my challenge, they were asking me questions about investing, and on the 3-day challenge, I'm not really supposed to be showing them because the whole goal isn't, I mean, the whole goal is to give them game, but to give enough to wet your beak so that you want the whole meal.
Yeah.
And the whole meal obviously is, you know, my coaching programs. But I'm showing them, like, I showed them some of the accounts, you know, and partly because we have receipts, right? Like, I'm not just saying it, like, the transparency is there, and I'm not just saying to do this without me not having done it. So if you're going to follow me and you're going to allow me to lead you, I think it's important for you to know that the authenticity is there. And I would much rather have that than to, you know, be influenced by people you just don't know. There's so much of that that's going on in music, on social media, in movies, in everything. Don't get me started in government, politics, churches.
Yeah.
Just like, don't even get me started there.
100%.
But
yeah, that's what even with Carlos, I told you, right? Like, like, look how long it took you guys to build the relationship that, you know, you have. You go and get haircuts and whatnot. But even he told me, he was like, bro, I don't know.
Shout out to Carlos.
He's like, I don't know if
Got
I
me
want to
right.
pay for this. I don't know if I want to pay for this because I've been burned already the last 2 times.
Pay for what? Like coaching or something?
Yeah, well, like when you got into the Master Your Money Challenge.
Sure.
He was very like hesitant about it because some dude had already come and was like, I don't know, trying to get me to invest in something.
We understand how many people we partner with that have said X, Y, and Z, and then we did it, and I'm like, okay, let's figure out how to do this on our own so that we can actually teach it to other people, but give them the results that they're looking for, you know, the transformation. So I understand it. I understand it. But that's good though, you know, you're using your spidey senses. Let me check this dude out. Let me see. Let me see. That, and I think, and I don't know, you know, but like, what does he kind of feel now?
So like, I don't know if it was probably about a month ago. He asked me like an investing quote. Like, what should I invest in? I'm like, dude, I'm not gonna tell you. I don't have any investment. Right. I said, but just go watch our content. Like everything, you know, like you're in the school group. Yeah. Go look at the school group. You know, like go like. And it tied into, it's so funny you said that the other day because you're like, a lot of these cats just want like a get rich quick scheme, right? Sure. Which I feel like was his text message to me. And in my mind, I was like, bro, this just sounds like you just want to make a quick buck. Yeah. If that's the case, then don't even invest. Like, you know, like. Right. So, yeah, no, it's definitely different now. Like, his entire, it's such a trip, but his entire mindset has flipped for sure. Yeah. But it just, look how long it took.
It takes some time.
With kids, everything like nowadays, today, social media, everything on the palm of your hand, people get influenced right then and there. Right? And when it comes to something that can actually change their lives, look how long it took. Months. Months.
Yeah, I think it's good. I think it definitely does. It definitely does take time. But I like Carlos. I like him a lot. I think he's a good. This is how old I am now. I say I think he's a good kid. What is it, like mid-20s or something?
23, 24.
23. That's the thing. I even told him. I said, you know, I think I graduated college. I was 23, and I think most people would have said I was a good kid. But you know, you're just trying to, at least for me at that age, just don't know anything. You're just trying to figure it out. And, you know, I was still waiting tables, taking real estate classes, looking for a job, a career. And it seems like he's in a good place. He's gonna do just right. But I will tell you, man, you gotta start early. Man, if you're 18, 19, 20, like if I could go back and just tell myself anything, it's like, bro, just put $100 away a month.
Mm.
Just invest $100. It doesn't need to be. I think you were asking me misconceptions yesterday, and I think the misconception is like I have to have a lot. It's like, no, you don't. A little will turn into a lot. $100 a month when you're 18 years old will allow you to invest $1,200 a year.
Mm.
I'll tell you exactly what that is. If you do that, and I like doing this with Ezra.
I just like to point out that this is how good he is at his job. He just shifted a conversation about shoes to investing.
Oh, they're really. Well, it's because it comes down to influence. Yeah.
But I'm talking about Carlos, and I'm talking about being a young dude. I'm talking about like setting yourself up. But let's just say at the age of 20, I'll put away $100 a month, and I do this for 40 years, just $100, right? Just do it for 40 years. Then that will give me over $600,000 in an investing account. Now, watch this little slight change. Watch this. So instead of doing $100 a month, let's just say I up that to $400. Now I have $2.5 million
In 40 years.
in 40 years, right? So by the time he's 60, and that's only 400. Like he's gonna get to a place where he's making a lot more than that, to where he can. I mean, I've had years where I've invested $20,000 a month.
Mm.
So 400 is not like. I mean, that's fair. I feel like most people can do that. At the age of 60, he's invested $190,000. That's the money that he's invested.
He's put it in 40 years, yeah.
And he has made $2.3 million for doing nothing.
Yeah.
Ezra, what's the best money to make? Money for
that you
doing
don't work for.
money you don't work for. If you can make $2.3 million for doing nothing, doesn't that sound like a good option?
No.
I mean,
No.
But here's the thing. Watch this. Let's just say he waits until he's my age, 40, to start doing that same thing. Watch this. If he waits, he only has $300,000. He's missed out on $2.1 million because he's waited.
Yeah.
The best thing you can do, man, is start early. If I could go back and talk to my 18-year-old self, it'd be like, just put $100 away, and then set a goal to gradually up that, maybe every year, to where I get to a point to where I am investing $1,000 a month, right? And I could have did that before we had him, but I was stupid. I was making $8,000 a month. Amanda was making about $2,000 a month. Household income, $10,000 a month. After taxes, let's drop that down to about $8,000 a month. Our rent was $2,000. We had some car payments. Let's just say that's another $1,000. We're at $3,000. Let's say we spent $1,000 on food. We're at $4,000. I don't know what the hell it was, but I know that we were, whatever we made, we spent. Like, and it's so stupid. But if we would have just limited our expenses and just put away $1,000 a month, oh my God, do you know where we would be right now?
Yeah.
And you could clearly do that, a household income, but we did what everybody else does. I get $100 and I do what?
spend.
I spend $100. I get $1,000. I spend 1,000. I get 5. I spend 5. I get 8. I find some way to spend 8. I start going to all the basketball games. I start buying timeshares. I get that BMW 5 Series where my monthly payment is $1,500 now. Right, I move out of the $2,000 a month little apartment building. No, I'm just saying this is what people do. You move out of the apartment you should be in, and now I scale up a little bit, and now I'm paying $3,500 for rent instead of the $2,000. Right,
and that's rent. That's not even a mortgage.
That's rent. I get pressured in. I got my wife a nice little ring, but shoot. I got a bump in my income. I see my boys. He's got a 2-3 carat diamond for his girl. My wife only got a 0.5 carat. Shit, I can't be going out with them. He got 3 carats on her finger. And I got a 0.5 carat. What that say about me? Mm-hmm. So now I got to go get another 2.5 carats. So I can't just be. And then they're going on. I see them. They're going on 2-3 week vacation. I got to boost up my vacation. I can't just be sitting over here. So now I'm spending money on that, right? And then my little $8,000 a month household income, which should be enough in any fucking society. But now I'm like living paycheck to paycheck, and somehow I have $40,000 in debt. And it happens just like that. You see it over and over and over again. But if you can just be smart and not be stupid, like me, for so long, and just say like, bro, if I'm making 8, why don't I at least try to keep 2? Put 1,000 into an investment, put another 1,000 into savings, and let me live off of 6. Like, we should be able to live off of 6. But we didn't. And those years were wasted.
What do you think about that?
Yeah.
Like, okay, let me ask you this way then. Because what he just drew out right now, that's reality for a lot of people, including myself. Like, obviously we're having this conversation, I'm listening to what he's saying. And I've been here now for going on 9 months. In that time, yeah, it's self-explanatory. Like, it sounds almost stupid. Like, why wouldn't somebody prepare to do something like that in terms of putting money aside, investing it, right? Like, if that's the one answer to not being broke for the rest of your life is just that. Now, what do you think about that? Like, everything that he's saying, because he's been teaching you guys since you were little, you were kids.
Right. Well, I was thinking while I was talking, like, I think that it would be easier for someone in his shoes at my age to kind of like want to lock in like that than someone in my shoes at my age. Because then it's like you look at, your parents, your household, and you think like, I don't want to live like that. But I'm sitting here looking at him and I'm like, this is chilling. I want to, I'm good like this.
Of course, yeah.
So I don't really have that drive. But, or no, I wouldn't say that. I have that drive. I want to, I know what I need to do and I'm going to do it. But I feel like other kids in my shoes wouldn't really have that drive. And I feel like that's what kind of separates, the ones that really make it from the ones that you kind of look at and you're like, what happened, Like, your parents had all that. They made something from nothing, gave you everything that you need, and you flopped. Like, what happened?
Yeah.
So, yeah.
No, that's good. So let me ask you this: if you did have that type of like upbringing or even that environment, like, what would you do differently, even as a high schooler right now?
I would.
I ask you the reason why I ask you that. Sorry, I don't mean to cut you off. I ask you that because when he talks about influence, right, and I'm listening to everything he just said right now, that he put my life, literally has put my entire life on the table, and I'm picturing myself right in that position. But I had nobody ever taught me this stuff like growing up, ever.
Right.
That's just not stuff that we're taught, right? Even in schools, like they don't teach financial literacy, right? I think it's very important. So if you had my life still and how your dad just depicted it, and you're in my shoes as a high schooler, but somebody's like teaching you this now as a high schooler, like what would you do differently, like now moving forward, like for the rest of your life, to where you're graduating high school, you finish college, and now you're starting your life, right? Like what would you do differently as a high schooler right now?
I would go to anybody who's in a better place than me and just really value what they have to say. Because, like, honestly, in my future financial journey, I don't think I'm ever gonna go to the internet for anything. Like, I feel like that's where a lot of kids get trapped, is they go to YouTube and they see these guys with seemingly perfect courses to get, your first 100K in like 3 months. And it doesn't really work like that. I want to get into rooms with people who have it like that. Like with these people on YouTube, like you don't really like know where they're at. So I want to get into rooms with people who really have it like that and value what they have to say and pretty much do anything that they tell me to.
Yeah, it's a good point.
And just that physical interaction, because then that also helps you in more ways than one. You know how to navigate yourself into a room with more upscale people. You know how to have people skills. You know how to get right with people who might not even think of you in the day to day. So. Yeah,
no, it's so true, and that ties into like how you said, like zip codes eat people. So you could even still be living in that same zip code, right? Like for me, dude, I freaking live in El Centro, and then I come here to Vista. I live in the ghetto.
Right.
My house has been raided by the feds. Still to this day, right? So I still live in that environment, but this is where I think I love that he teaches on what he teaches on, because you could take that person out of that environment and he'll completely flourish. Like I would have never imagined, dude, like in the rooms that we've been in for the last 3 months, I would have never imagined, we've had these conversations, would have never imagined myself being in a room with a guy like Justin Prince, right? Like, dude, his house was insane.
Right.
And I still live in the ghetto. I still live in that same zip code. But now I'm like at a place where, I'm doing a lot better financially. I've gotten somebody to really help coach me, mentor me. Right. So now I'm doing things differently, right? And so I asked you that because I think we talk a lot about how it starts like in the nucleus, which is like the beginning as a kid and the family, the environment, everything. But I think high school is where there becomes a disconnect. Like I think for my years in high school, if I wasn't so caught up on like just fitting in with the crowd and doing what everybody else is doing, and I was actually locked in on my health, sports, finances, whatever, I think that would have been a huge game changer for me, dude. Huge. Imagine.
Could you break it down, Ezra?
Investing?
Like how would you break down investing to a bunch of high school kids?
There's 2 main categories. There's real estate and businesses that you can invest in. Each have a lot of subgenres that you can invest in, and it's really just what fits what you want to do. And either can make you a lot of money if you just lock in and start early. And it's simple. It's just setting aside part of your money to just put into a stock account, or kind of, it doesn't even like in the future, saving up your money, and then habits such as before you get your own place, get a rental property, or even just like buy an apartment complex and live in it and rent it out to like 5 other tenants. And it's just something like that.
Yeah, dude. And the crazy part is like with that, I don't even know if you're realizing as you're saying it, but that's literally what your dad's doing.
Well, yeah, because I've been hearing it for 14
Yeah,
years.
that's what I'm saying.
I grew up with Jim
Yeah.
Rohn. Like,
Exactly. Yeah.
he was pretty much my father.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, man. That's what separates the greats, man. You know?
I think Ezra gets to see it. Like I'm looking at his college fund right now, and even in the last 12 months, it has grown by I think $30,000. A year ago, it was at, I believe, 175. Let's see here. It's at 206 now. Let's see what we started at. 2024. There was 175, and now it's at 206. So what is that, Ezra? You're better at math than I am.
That's about 30.
About 30,000.
Yeah, like 31.
So I mean, and just that's a perfect example because he's invested in a broad market index. He's mostly invested in like the top 10, 15 companies in the United States. So he's invested in Amazon, Microsoft, Nvidia, Berkshire Hathaway, Tesla, Meta, just general companies.
Yeah,
And
Apple, Nike.
Apple. Yeah, Apple's definitely in there. Nike is in there.
I got quite a bit of Apple, actually.
He's got some financials in there. But in the last 12 months, an additional $30,000+ have been made. And he's not doing anything. He's just going to school. That's $3,000 a month that has been added on to his account for doing nothing. Like, just think about how much the average person, even me, when I graduated from college, Tony, do you know how long it took me to make $30,000? And I had a degree.
Yeah.
I graduated college in 2004. I didn't make $30,000 a year until probably like 2007 or 2008. Probably like 2007. So it took me 3 years of working hard every day, pounding the phone, calling people, recruiting people. I'm in inside sales.
Mm-hmm.
I'm serving tables. I'm doing all this stuff. And I have a college degree.
Mm-hmm.
And I graduated with a 3.83 GPA. And it took me 3 years of working every single day to make $30,000. And in this dude's account, he made over $30,000 for doing absolutely nothing.
Which again, I'm gonna just I don't know if this is like a teaching moment or what the heck's going on, but that's insane to me because your dad said it took him how long? You said 3 years?
3 years from graduating from college, but I had worked all the way through college. I worked in high school.
Okay, so the reason why people even go to college is to get a piece of paper that makes them think they can now start making six figures.
Right.
That's insane.
Well, not everybody should go to college. You should not go to college unless you're going to be a doctor, a lawyer, maybe go into finance.
Yeah.
But you don't need to go to college for even finance. You definitely don't need to go for accounting.
No.
But if you're going to have engineering,
A lot of the, top people in business right now skip college to grind.
it's antiquated.
Oh.
The business department at my old university stopped asking me to come back. 'Cause I used to go every year. I don't know if you remember this, but I used to go to Azusa Pacific University and I would go speak damn near every year. And the business department basically stopped offering me an invitation because I would tell these kids,
College is a scam.
I would say, this is cool, if you use it for what it is. But if you think you're going to learn about business from sitting in this classroom, you and them are crazy. You're not going to learn about business until you start getting involved in business, until you start doing it. Reading these textbooks and going through simulations and maybe it would feel like this, you're not going to learn a damn thing. You're not going to learn it until you actually start applying it and you're in the thing. This is all a waste of time. It's cool if you go, Ezra, I tell you, if you go to college, what's the number one thing to get out of college?
Relationships.
Relationships.
Network, yeah.
That's it. Like I gotta go find the dude whose parents are in the industry that I want to get in. If it's engineering, I gotta go find the engineering people, and we're about to be best friends.
Okay.
If it's equities, I gotta go find the people. If it's private equity, I gotta go find the person at SC where Ezra's gonna go, and find the dude whose dad is in venture capital or in private equities. If I want to become a surgeon, then I got to go find the people whose parents are some of the top surgeons, right? Like, and I got to build my network. That is the best reason to go to college, but
especially UCLA.
but like. No, people go to college. Me and my wife, perfect example of people who shouldn't have gone to college.
What did mom major in again?
Who knows? I mean, ethnic studies. So I get out of college, I'm in debt, $50, $60, $70,000 for a degree that nobody's ever heard of.
I will say though, I think that your degree to some extent did.
I think it's helped me.
It has.
Yeah.
What's the degree you have again?
Social psychology.
Oh, okay.
But like, it's so hard to win an argument against him. Like, it's a little annoying at some point. Though even it down to the way that he speaks, it just kind of reflects what he's learned in college. So it has, and then like he could kind of just spot things in humans. Even earlier in this episode, when he was talking about Cruz, he spots things in humans that really no one else would ever even look at. And yeah, so it helps him. It definitely, I would think it would help him navigate the rooms better. Yeah.
Yeah.
I think so. Yeah, it has helped me in terms of, being a people person and building relationships and stuff. But I mean, you can get a lot of that education just from going to do the thing or trade school or something that's not going to break your bank. Like, these kids graduate with a liberal studies degree. They want to go become teachers or something. That's stupid. Have an apprenticeship model. If you want to become a teacher, then go study underneath teachers or go to some sort of, don't come out of college. So, do you know how hard, Tony, you watch me every day of the week help people get out of debt. Do you know how hard it is and how long it takes the average person without help to get out of debt? It usually never happens, ever. And then if they do, if I'm a teacher, bro, making $50,000 a year, but I'm in debt coming out of college, 70 or 80 grand, that the math is not mathing. That's stupid.
Yeah.
I am going to be 50 years old before I pay off these loans. And then we say, well, if I want to make more money, then I need to go back to school and get another degree. So for me to make an additional $20,000 a year, which is less than an extra $2,000 a month, I need to go back to school, get in $30,000 of debt to only make an additional $2,000 a month. It's stupid.
And that's just your education. That's not including the stuff that you're spending money on.
It's dumb.
Like,
you're going to
get into new cars.
Oh my God. It's so stupid. Scholastic education is antiquated.
financial education and really technology is what you need to know right now.
Okay.
Like, I just bought. I shouldn't even reveal this for real right now. Into a stock today that nobody has ever heard of this company before. But the reason why I bought it is because right now, if you're not preparing for like what's about to happen in the next 10 to 20 years with artificial intelligence and technology, then you're stupid. So I invested in a company today. Early this morning, it was like 3 a.m. our time, 6 a.m. on the East Coast. And the only reason why I invested into this company is because what's about to start happening with artificial intelligence.
I mean, look at all the people that tapped into NVIDIA like 4 years ago. They're up.
People that got in, people got super rich with NVIDIA that they weren't trying to.
Yeah,
like,
they're just like, I'm just gonna buy into this. I don't know what it is, but whatever.
They, for some reason, 10 years ago, right? They were playing video games or something, and they found a company. Ezra's been on the campus. He knows this more than I do.
It's a beautiful campus, by the way.
It's crazy.
Carlos invested into NVIDIA, so yeah.
Yeah, the kids are invested pretty good into it as well. But it's like some people were playing video games, or maybe they heard something, and maybe they bought, $10,000 worth of shares or something, and now that 10,000 is a couple 100,000. I know people. I don't know them personally, but that bought shares in the mid to late 90s. Not that much, $10,000 for it, and now those shares are worth, I think, about $15 million. Isn't that crazy? But it's not because they were like savvy investors, whatever. The reason why I invested into this company I invested in today is because AI is already here. You see how we use AI, ChatGPT to help us and everything. In the next 10 years, it's going to be crazy. I'm big about robotics. But the number one thing that the AI industry needs to do what it's going to do in the next 10 to 20 years is energy.
Mm-hmm.
They use a lot of power and a lot of energy, tons of energy, more energy than anything else. And we have to build the infrastructure for that. So I invested into a company that builds the infrastructure and gives the energy to that's going to power this AI revolution. So on the top, we invest in all these, AI and tech companies, right? And it's cool. NVIDIA, I'm all in on Tesla. We have all these companies. But what is the foundation for all these companies? So I want to own the foundation. So that's why I invested into this company this morning, because these companies are going to do good, they're going to do bad. 2 years ago, NVIDIA was skyrocketing. Now it's down 25%.
Tesla's been under the water.
Tesla has been hurt, but it's been good though too, because I think you saw, Tony, 2 weeks ago, Tesla dipped big time, and then I bought a couple thousand shares, and now I'm up on Tesla. So you just have to wait for the opportunity. But these companies are going to do what they're going to do. The Magnificent Seven is going to do what it's going to do. But what's going to power all these companies? And this company is so undervalued right now. I think it's going to be the next NVIDIA in the next couple of years. We're going to see. Either I'm going to lose a lot of money, or we'll make a lot of money. We'll see. But that's kind of like, that's what you wanna do, man. Like, in this, we should do this in there real fast before you leave, Tony. But there's 3 phases, and this is what Ezra was talking about. But everybody's got to know there's 3 phases when it comes to money. And going to a college does not teach you any of this stuff. What you must know
in the real world. The real world is you, me, and you out here trying to take care of ourselves and the family, right? We got to go to soccer practice. We got to go to work. We got to have dinner, right? I got to meet my neighbors. I got to live in the real world. I got to work with some people that I'd rather not be working with. If I'm working for somebody, I got to listen to a boss, build a great relationship with them. If I'm running a company, I got to do all the stuff. This real world stuff, right? I got kids that want stuff. I got a wife or a husband that wants stuff. I got to live in the real world. And in the real world, it just so happens that you're not doing nothing without money. So the fact that I go all the way through school and learn nothing about money is so stupid. Because you cannot do anything without money. I don't care if I'm planting a church. Me and Ezra's mom have invested thousands of dollars for people to plant churches. Without money, you are not planting a church. Without money, you're not going into a church. Without money, this church isn't going to survive. Yeah. Money, that's why I said, money is the foundation for all of the other mountaintops that we want to climb. And the fact that I spent 8 years, 12 years going through school and learning nothing about this one thing is so idiotic. It's not even funny. Yeah. So now I become a doctor, right? Now I become an attorney. Fine, I get out of school. Ezra gets out of school. He becomes an attorney. He wants to maybe work at a practice for a couple years before he starts his portfolio of businesses. He lands a $180,000, $200,000 a year job, which is possible because that's what my best friend did, John Wong, who became an attorney. While I'm trying to make $30,000, he got on with a firm in LA, and he's like, "Bro, I just got 170," and I'm like, "Oh, how the fuck? Like, I got better grades than he did in undergrad, you know?" But now we get out and fine, you get $200,000. What you gonna do with it? Mm-hmm. See, nobody's ever taught you what to do with it. So you got the money, whether it's 30,000, 50,000, 100,000, 200, but what are you going to do with it? You only learn the first part of money, which is, how do I make it? But there's two other parts. The second part is, how do I keep it? And the third part is, how do I grow it? And if you don't learn these two other parts, you are going to live paycheck to paycheck. And I don't care if you're making 200,000, 500,000, a couple million, or $30,000. It's not going to matter. It doesn't matter if you have a law degree, a medical degree, a fucking business degree. It doesn't matter if you're delivering boxes from Amazon. If you don't learn step 2 and step 3, then you're going to live paycheck to paycheck at $100,000 a year. Yeah. Or 500,000 or 5 million. That's what they should be teaching. How do I make it? How do I get to a place where I make more than I need? Number 2, how do I keep what I have and I keep more than I need? And number 3, how do I grow what I have so that it can become way more than what I need? And we are not good at keeping it because we follow society. We see fucking rapper. I see this guy on TikTok doing stupid stuff. I see my neighbor across the street, right? I see them. They just got the Lamborghini. So now I gotta go get it. What's the problem? I'm not keeping my money. Yeah. I'm not keeping it. I'm violating rule number 2. If I can't keep it, I can't invest in this company that is going to be the foundation for all these AI companies. Mm-hmm. So I can't grow it. Yeah. Right? So first what we have to do in his account is figure out, how do I get the money? How do I keep this money? How do I grow the money? Mm-hmm. And I just said the money has grown over $30,000 in the last 12 months. Mm-hmm. And ain't nobody done any extra work. And if you don't learn that, then in the real world,
Yeah.
You're going to get ate up. I don't care if you're a teacher, an engineer, or whatever. You could have 50 degrees on the wall, and if you don't learn financial literacy, it's not going to matter. Keeping your money and growing your money, all three of these phases require skills. To make the money, you have to have a skill so you can trade for currency, right? And hopefully as we get older and we get better, our skills increase so we make more money, right? So I got to learn the skills of becoming an attorney. And then I got to pick what field I want to go in, right? And as I work in that field, as I start doing it more and more, having more experience, then my skills are going to increase. And as my skills increase, I can ask for more because I'm worth more now, right? So that's how we get the money. Keeping the money is a really big skill, and it's a harder skill to navigate because we're humans.
Yeah.
A big part of keeping the money is what we call delayed gratification.
Yeah.
How can I hold off, manage my emotions enough? I could get the Lamborghini, but how can I trade off what I really want now for what I really, really want in the future?
Yeah.
And the problem is people are so stupid that they're not looking at 20 or 30 years from now or 40 years from now.
Yep.
They're only looking at what is happening right now. And so if I don't have impulse control, I see it, I buy it, then I'm never going to be able to, I haven't built the skills of emotional awareness or emotional intelligence to say, I feel it in here, you really want that, but is this going to serve you 10 years from now?
Yeah.
And that's why I always say, we think in decades, not in days. Because the moves that I make today are not for today. It's for 2035.
Yeah.
So I'm not going to mess up 2035 because I want a Bentley today. I can go buy 10 Bentleys right now, but is that going to help me 10 years from now?
Wow.
No, because a dollar is not a dollar. $100,000 right now, you could just see it, what happened in a year. So if I spend $100,000 right now on a car, this $100,000 is going to be about $1 million 10 years from now. And do I want to spend $1 million on a car? This same 100,000 is going to be 2.5 20 years from now.
Wow.
Do I want to spend 2.5 million on a car?
Right.
No. Now, 30 years from now, this same 100,000 is going to be almost $4 million. Do I want to spend $4 million on a car? No. And if I got 10 of these cars, do I want to spend $40 million on these cars? The answer is no. You have to be stupid. You have to be so stupid
Yeah, it's wild.
to do that. But it's because you haven't built the skills yet of saying, I know I could have this, but it's not good for me. Just like I know I could have, we were talking about carrot cake earlier. I know I could have this carrot cake, but it may not be good for me right now. So let me hold off on this and have a salad.
Yeah.
Right? I know I could have 5, 6, 7 women, but it's not going to be good for me. Maybe I just stay with my wife. Right? And you learn to have emotional agility and intelligence, and most people just don't have it.
Yeah.
And that's why they spend when they should be invested.
Yeah.
It's a
heck yeah.
big skill.
I think it'd be a game changer if that kid freaking bought a sports team or something, or like a piece of property as a
That's what you should be doing.
instead of a Lamborghini.
That's absolutely what you should be doing. But we give a framework. Ezra knows it. We had this. Ezra and I had a run-in a couple of years back because he made a move with his money that he wasn't supposed to be making. And we have a framework. We live off of 70% of our income. It's right here on the damn shirt. We save 10%, we invest 10%, and we give 10%. We live off of 70. So if I'm a young cat and I get $1 million, then right away I should be putting away $100,000 into savings, and I should be investing $100,000, and I should be giving away $100,000. Now I got $700,000 left. Now, if I now want to buy a Phantom or a Lamborghini or whatever out of the $700,000, I can do it because I did what I was supposed to do first. Now, if I get $1 million, and bro, for real, my lifestyle, I'm a young dude. I for real only should be living off of maybe 20% of that, which gives me 200,000. Now, a smart person, what they would do is now they would save 200,000. They would invest 400,000. They give 100,000, and they live off of 200,000 or 300,000. And now the next time I get $1 million, I do the same thing. And so now I got a portfolio with $1 million in it that's growing at 10%.
Yeah.
That's giving me $100,000 every year or every quarter. And now I can go buy myself an apartment building. Now I can go buy into a franchise. Now I can go buy into a couple businesses. Now I can go get me a couple pieces of real estate that also are going to cash flow, give me the cash. And this cash flow, if I want to buy another Lamborghini, and I'm getting $10,000 to $20,000 a month of cash flow from my investments, now I take that and go buy the Lamborghini while I got all of my investments that are still here. I never pay for the Lamborghini with my money, ever.
Yeah.
And this is what stupid people do. And I keep saying stupid people because that's what I did all the time. I just got my wife a car. I'm not getting another car for myself until my car falls to the ground, because I don't care about cars.
Or unless what's your rule?
What's that?
What's your rule to that? Or unless you
I go invest in something else that will pay for the car.
That's what I said.
But I'm just about to tell you, my wife, we paid like $80,000 for her car. Okay, I cannot pay for this car, right? Just principle. I will not allow myself to pay for this car. So what do I need to do? I need to go find something to invest in that will pay for this car. Does this make sense?
Yeah.
So it just so happened that in February, Trump says, hey, I'm president now. I'm about to tariff the shit out of the world. This is why you guys hired me, right? I'm in here. Now I'm about to lay down the law on China, on Canada, on Mexico, on everybody. All of y'all getting it. And as soon as that happened, the stock market went just like that. And so I had to wait. Okay. Now I have a particular stock that I love. And at the time that Trump announced his tariffs, the stock was trading at $542 a share. Okay. Well, now the market has gotten spooked. So now it falls to $446 a share. Almost a full $100, right? Okay. Now it's time to buy because it just went on discount, right? So I go in and I invest $100,000. Okay? So I invest $100,000. Watch this. $100,000 at $446 a share, which means I picked up 224 shares. Okay? Bro, now I made my investment. Now I can go buy her car. Okay? Because watch what happened. Now the same stock is back up to $550 a share. Now I bought at $446, is back up at $550. So basically it's up, $104?
Yeah.
So I'm going to take these 224 shares that I bought and I'm going to multiply that by 104. And you can see I have made $23,000. This is going to pay for the car, not me. I'm not going to pay for the car. Adapt and implement.
Got 20 minutes before you have an hour before your call.
Yeah.
What's our outro?
You ready?
What am I saying?
Oh no, I'll say it.
I'm ready.
What's up, everybody?